The loudest noise you'll ever make is walking away in total silence. They won't stop thinking about you, not because you begged, not because you explained, but because you disappeared. Without drama, without warning, without closure, just silence. And my friends, silence is no longer a weakness. It's not avoidance, it's not pettiness. It's power, pure, cold, unforgettable power. If you do it right, your absence will echo in their minds louder than your presence ever did. Before we begin, go ahead and press that like button and subscribe, because today we're not here to play nice. We're here to reclaim your power, sharpen your mind, and use the kind of silent moves that make them obsess over you without you lifting a single finger. Imagine this. You're a lighthouse, standing still, not chasing ships, not shouting, not begging to be seen, but glowing so steadily that every lost soul at sea can't help but turn their heads. Now, imagine being that lighthouse in someone's mind. That's what these silent mind games do. They turn you into a mental beacon, a quiet force. They'll scroll through their phones, see nothing from you, and still feel you. That's the power of controlled silence. It gets under their skin, behind the smiles, into the thoughts they can't turn off. And you're not doing anything loud. You're not blowing up their inbox. You're not explaining why you deserve better. You're just not there, and that's what haunts them. We've been told silence is weakness, that staying quiet means you don't care, that not responding means you've lost. But that's a beautifully convenient lie told by those who need your reactions to survive. The truth is, silence makes people itch. It makes them overthink, makes them spiral, because it's not normal. People are addicted to attention, to validation, and when you pull yours away, they lose balance. They start playing out every conversation, over-analyzing your last look, your last word, wondering, what are you thinking? You see, talking is easy. Silence is strategy. The kind of silence I'm about to show you today isn't passive. It's calculated, it's cold, it's calm. It slips into their subconscious and plays on repeat at 2 a.m. These aren't just random tactics. They're rooted in human psychology and sharpened by those who mastered self-restraint and control. Marcus Aurelius once said, "He who angers you, conquers you." Let's take that further. He who chases forgets his worth, but not you. Not anymore. You're not here to chase. You're here to haunt, to become the quiet reminder of what they lost, the voice they wish would message them, the presence they can't replace. They laughed when you went quiet, but that's the funny part about silence. It doesn't make noise, it makes impact. From this moment on, every move you make will be subtle, psychological, powerful, and entirely silent. So stay with me, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to give you 11 of the most powerful silent mind games that will flip their brains upside down. Each one crafted to leave a deep emotional imprint without a single text, word, or argument. You want power. You want control without chaos. Then repeat this right now and drop it in the comments. Silence is power. Say it, believe it, live it, because after today, you won't need to speak. Number 1, the vanishing act. That screams louder than words. Disappear completely and watch how fast they start looking for pieces of you in everyone else. Let that sink in, my friends, because the truth is, most people don't appreciate your presence until it turns into an absence. They don't value your voice until it goes quiet. And they don't realize what they had until you stop replying to their messages. No longer checking in, no longer available on demand. The first and most powerful silent mind game you'll ever play is vanishing. Not forever, not with bitterness, but with intention. When done right, it's not just silence, it's an earthquake. They feel it in their gut, and they won't stop thinking about you, not because you begged, but because you vanished like a ghost. They still feel in the room. Imagine this. You've been the fire that warmed them, the light that guided them, the presence that always showed up. But one day that fire doesn't light. That warmth is gone and the cold bites harder than any word ever could. That's what the vanishing act does. It's not childish, it's not revenge, it's clarity. It's you saying, so you had me and you wasted it. Now I'm done handing my presence to people who treat it like background noise. But here's the wild part. They won't notice right away. At first, they'll enjoy the silence. They'll assume you're just playing around. They'll scroll past your name, shrug, and think you'll be back because that's what they've been trained to believe, that you'll always come back, that your heart has no boundaries, that you'll keep reaching out, keep chasing, keep hoping. That's the lie they've told themselves, and maybe, my friend, that's the lie you believe too. You see, you were never weak for staying. You were loyal. But loyalty to the wrong people becomes a prison, and now you're escaping, not with a bang, but with a whisper. The vanishing act is hard because it feels unnatural. At first, you'll want to explain. You'll want to say, I'm doing this because I need to protect my peace. But don't. That defeats the point. Silence works because it leaves space, and people hate empty space. It makes them uncomfortable. It makes them question. It makes them wonder. Once they start wondering, they start feeling. They'll ask themselves, did I do something wrong? Are they mad? Are they seeing someone else? Did they finally move on? And that loop, it never ends, because there was no closure, no final chapter, just you, gone, quiet, mysterious, powerful. It's like this. Have you ever had a song stuck in your head because you only heard a few seconds of it? That's how the mind works. When something doesn't finish, the brain keeps playing it on repeat. That's what your silence becomes, a loop they can't stop thinking about. You didn't scream. You didn't post some dramatic goodbye. You just vanished. Marcus Aurelius once said, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one. And I'll say this, waste no more time explaining why you're done. Just be done. Be silent, be absent, be unavailable. Because sometimes disappearing is the most powerful sentence you'll ever speak. They won't admit it, at least not at first. But behind the scenes, they'll stalk your socials, reread the messages you haven't sent, and wonder where you are, what you're doing, who you're with. All because you mastered the art of not showing up. But I'll be real with you, it's going to hurt. Especially if your heart still cares. Especially if you're used to fixing everything with words. But healing doesn't always come through conversation. Sometimes healing begins when you stop letting them believe you'll always be around. And that's when your silence starts doing the talking. So here's what I want you to do. Drop this in the comments right now like it's your personal oath. My absence is my message. Say it, show it, live it. Let the world around you feel the shift. You're no longer explaining yourself. You're no longer making noise. You're becoming the echo they can't silence. Stay with me, because what's coming next is the mind game that makes them question everything, their choices, your distance, and whether someone else has already replaced them. Let's keep turning the silence into their obsession, because you're just getting started. Number 2, become the question they can't answer. Mystery is not built by what you say. It's built by everything you don't say. Let that hit you for a second, because the moment you stop explaining, stop updating, stop handing them every piece of your soul, they'll finally start wondering who you are. And that, my friends, is where the magic begins. You want to haunt their thoughts? Don't give them closure. Don't give them clarity. Give them confusion. Let them sit in their own uncertainty, because curiosity is more powerful than closure will ever be. Imagine this. You walk into a room and say absolutely nothing. No smiles, no nods. You just sit there, calm, collected, silent. Now watch how every person in the room starts thinking. What's on their mind? Why are they so quiet? Did something happen? That's the power of being unreadable. That's how you become the question no one can answer. And when it's someone who used to think they had you all figured out, that silence hits 10 times harder because now they don't know if you're angry, healed, glowing, moved on, or if you simply don't care anymore. They thought they had access to your mind. They thought they could predict your next move, but suddenly you've become a blank page. And people hate blank pages because the mind needs to finish the story. It needs to close loops. When you don't give them that ending, they keep replaying everything they know about you, every message, every smile, every goodbye, looking for clues, looking for answers. And the truth is, you gave them none. But let's be real, it's hard to hold back, especially if you've always been the one who shared, who explained, who over-communicated just to feel understood. You might even feel guilty at first, like you're withholding love, but you're not. You're reclaiming power. You're no longer feeding someone who only shows up when they're hungry for your attention. You're not abandoning anyone. You're choosing yourself. Most people are raised on instant gratification. They post a photo, they get likes, they text, they expect replies, they date someone, they expect access. But you're no longer part of that game. You've stepped out of the matrix. You've become unreadable. And that unreadability, that's what starts the obsession, because now they're not sure who you are anymore, and that thought scares them more than losing you ever did. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The more we value things outside our control, the less control we have." And guess what? You were once the thing they controlled. Now you're the thing that escaped their grasp. That's what makes you powerful. You've become something they can't manipulate, can't predict, can't explain. You've become a mystery wrapped in silence, and that silence gets under their skin. They'll start asking themselves, are they talking to someone else? Did they move on already? Are they doing better without me? Do they even think about me at all? And here's the delicious part. They'll never know, because you won't confirm or deny a single thing. You'll smile, you'll live, you'll glow in peace, but you'll never explain. And that's what makes you unforgettable. It's not about faking anything. It's not about playing games. It's about realizing that your truth isn't a product to be handed out for free. Your story is earned. Your thoughts are sacred, and not everyone deserves front row seats to your soul just because they once had a ticket. They lost it. Now they sit in the back trying to guess what the show is about, but it's invitation only now. So here's what I want you to do right now. Drop this in the comments. I am the mystery. Say it, show it, feel it, let it sink in. You don't need to be loud to be heard. You don't need to be available to be desired. You just need to be unreadable enough to live in their mind, rent-free. Stay close, because in the next section, we're flipping the mirror. You'll learn how to reflect their chaos right back at them without a single word, so they feel exactly what they made you feel. This is about to get darker and even more powerful. Number 3, the mirror game. Reflect their inconsistency back to them. When someone gives you mixed energy, give them a silent reflection. Oh, my friends, this one cuts deep. You ever deal with someone who's hot one minute, cold the next, texting you like you're their whole world, then disappearing like you never mattered? They show up when it's convenient, vanish when it requires effort, and somehow you're always the one wondering what changed. Let's stop right there, because it's time to flip the mirror. Not with words, not with begging for clarity, but with silence. Cold, clean, strategic silence. The mirror game is simple. You show them what they've shown you, but instead of reacting emotionally, you become neutral. You become still. They pull back. So do you. They stop initiating. You vanish. They treat you like an option. You make them feel your absence like a void. You're not punishing them. You're just letting them feel the weight of their own inconsistency without a single argument, without a single explanation. Imagine looking into a mirror and seeing your own chaos looking back at you. That's what they'll feel. Suddenly their own games won't feel so fun anymore. Suddenly the one who used to chase them is matching their energy, and it's making them uncomfortable. People don't like facing themselves. They don't like being treated the way they treat others. But that's exactly what this game does. It reveals them to themselves. Now some of you might be thinking, but won't this push them away? My friend, they were already drifting, already pulling back, already showing you where you stood. You're not pushing anyone away. You're just no longer chasing after what's running from you. And that shift, that silence, it breaks patterns, it changes dynamics. It makes them second-guess their own behavior. You're not being petty, you're being precise. You're not acting cold, you're acting in alignment with how they've treated you. And guess what? Most people who dish out mixed signals don't expect to receive them. They're used to holding the power, they're used to controlling the tempo. But now you've pulled the rug out from under them and replaced it with a mirror. They might start thinking, why are they acting different? Why are they pulling back now? Did I do something wrong? Yes, but they won't hear it from your mouth. They'll hear it in the silence, and it'll echo louder than any confrontation ever could. There's a quote I love that says, "You don't always have to cut them off. Just match their energy and watch how uncomfortable it gets." Because people love to play games until they realize they're playing with someone who knows how to win. In silence, you don't need to lash out. You don't need to explain your boundaries. Your quiet shift is the message. Your absence is the closure. Your mirror is the teacher. But let me be honest, it's going to take discipline. You'll be tempted to call them out. You'll want to ask why they're being distant. You'll want to say, just be honest with me. But don't. That gives them power. That gives them comfort. That gives them the satisfaction of knowing they've still got you, emotionally chasing clarity. And clarity, my friend, should never be begged for. If they wanted you to feel secure, they'd make you feel secure. If they wanted you to stay, they wouldn't give you reasons to doubt. So now you reflect. Not with attitude, not with drama, but with a calm, surgical stillness. You are a mirror now. They give confusion, you give distance. They give inconsistency, you give space. They try to breadcrumb you, you give nothing but silence. And when they finally start to feel the emptiness of your absence, don't fill it. Let them sit with it. Let them see what you see when you look at them. Marcus Aurelius said, "If someone does wrong, it is because they are mistaken. Show them the truth not by arguing but by living right." And that's what you're doing here. You're showing them the truth by no longer chasing lies. You're not here to fix broken patterns. You're here to break free from them. So here's your affirmation, the one you need to write in the comments right now. I am their mirror. Type it, own it, let it be your shield. No more begging, no more explaining. You reflect, you observe, and you rise. Stick around, because in the next section, we're diving into a silent move that flips the emotional table so hard, they'll be questioning their every thought while you stay completely unbothered. Let's keep going, because this silent storm is only getting stronger. Number 4, unbothered is the ultimate flex. They'll poke, prod, and push just to see if they still control your emotions. The moment you stop reacting, you win. Let's just call it what it is, my friends. People feed off your reactions. That little twitch in your voice, that long message you sent at midnight, that reply typed out in frustration, they use it as fuel. Every time you react, they know they still have access to your emotions. You think you're standing up for yourself? No, you're giving them proof that they still live in your head. But the second you go quiet, unbothered, unshakable, that's when the game flips. Because now you're not just ignoring them, you're free from them. And nothing messes with someone more than realizing they can no longer disturb your peace. Picture this. You're a calm ocean, flat, still, undisturbed. They throw rocks hoping to see a splash, waiting for a ripple, but nothing happens. And suddenly, it's them who feels uneasy. That silence, that calm, it screams one truth louder than anything else. You've detached. And detachment is terrifying to someone who once had emotional control over you, because it means they can no longer guilt trip you. They can't bait you into fights. They can't use your feelings as leverage. You've become emotionally bulletproof. But let's be honest, it's hard, especially when you've always responded, when you've been trained to explain yourself, to defend your side, to beg for understanding. You'll want to react. You'll want to post something slick, say something smart, send that long final message with all the truth and pain bottled inside. But stop. Ask yourself, what does this really achieve? Does it change them? Does it bring peace? Or does it just give them the satisfaction that they still matter enough to ruin your day? You see, being unbothered doesn't mean you're cold-hearted. It means you've mastered self-respect. You've realized that their opinion of you is not your business, that their little mind games only work when you play. And you're done playing. You're not emotionally dead. You're emotionally disciplined. That's real power. That's what Stoicism teaches us. Marcus Aurelius didn't say, scream and get closure. He said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. They want to rattle you. They want to see if they can still shift your energy. But what happens when they throw fire and you don't burn? What happens when they ghost you and you don't chase? What happens when they try to get under your skin and realize they can't even get through to you? That's when the panic sets in. That's when the tables turn. Because now they're the ones checking their phones. They're the ones overthinking. They're the ones feeling confused. And you're over it, silent, focused, elevated. Being unbothered doesn't mean you're numb. It means you've reprogrammed the way you respond to disrespect. It means peace is your new standard. And let me tell you, peace isn't passive. It's power. It's not weakness. It's warfare without noise. You stop explaining and suddenly you become unpredictable. And unpredictability, that's how you stay in their mind. They don't know what you're thinking. They don't know if you care. They don't know if you're done or just done responding. That mystery alone keeps them coming back, checking in, spiraling. Now here's the part most people miss. Staying unbothered doesn't just affect them, it transforms you. The energy you once wasted on overthinking, defending, explaining, gets redirected into your goals, your glow-up, your healing. You start building a life so peaceful, so purposeful, that even if they did come back, you wouldn't trade it for the chaos they once brought. That's the real win, when you no longer seek their attention because you've become your own source of peace. So here's your affirmation, the mindset you need to wear like armor. I protect my peace. Drop it in the comments right now. Let it be your shield. Let it be your reminder. You don't owe anyone a reaction. You don't owe anyone your energy. You owe yourself peace, protection, and power. Stay right here, because in the next part, we're diving into one of the most brutal silent mind games of all. The delayed response. The one move that keeps them obsessing, overanalyzing, and refreshing their phone while you stay cool, calm, and completely in control. Let's keep going. The silence is just getting started. Number 5. The delayed response. That messes with their mind. The longer you take to reply, the louder your silence becomes in their heads. Oh, my friends, this one is wicked, because in today's world, people are addicted to instant replies, addicted to the dopamine hit of a blue tick, a typing bubble, a fast reaction. That's the drug. That's the game. They want to know they've still got you on a leash, that you're just one text away from melting, from chasing, from dropping everything to respond. But what happens when you break the pattern? When you don't reply instantly? When you pause, breathe, and wait? You create a gap, a beautiful, brutal mental gap, and that gap eats at them. It turns a message into a mystery, a missed call into a storm. They start checking their phones over and over, replaying their words in their heads. Did I say something wrong? Are they upset? Are they ignoring me on purpose? They're not sure, and the human mind hates not being sure. So what do? They spiral, they overthink, they obsess. That's the power of the delayed response. You're not playing hard to get, you're becoming rare, unavailable, selective. And that alone raises your value more than any perfect text ever could. Now I get it. It's tempting to reply fast. You see the message pop up, your fingers itch. You want to respond, to explain, to clarify, especially if you still care, especially if you're used to being available. But let me hit you with the truth. Every time you respond too fast, you teach them that your attention is cheap, that your energy is on demand, that your world pauses when they enter it. But not anymore. Now you're calm, you're composed, you're unrushed. You don't react. You respond when it's right for you. And that, my friend, is pure psychological tension, the kind that lingers, the kind that builds. Imagine this. They send a message. You've seen it, you've read it, but you don't reply, not for hours, maybe not even the same day. And that silence doesn't go unnoticed. It stings because they're so used to you being right there. And now you've vanished, quiet, unpredictable. They start checking. Are they online? Did they see it? Why haven't they replied yet? Boom! They've just handed you the control. You see, attention is a currency, and your reply, that's the transaction. When you delay it, you raise the price. You make them work harder just to hear from you. And people always chase what feels just out of reach. That's not manipulation, it's math. Even Marcus Aurelius knew this. He said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." And in this case, if it is not worth your energy right now, do not respond. Just because they want your time doesn't mean they deserve it. Just because they message you doesn't mean they have access to you. Not anymore. You're not ignoring them out of spite. You're prioritizing your peace. You're not playing games. You're creating boundaries. And in doing so, you become unpredictable. And unpredictability, it's intoxicating because it forces them to shift, to question, to wonder if they've lost you. It forces them to see you differently, not as the emotionally available doormat, but as a whole mystery. And that mystery keeps them coming back, refreshing chats, rereading old texts, wondering what version of you they're going to get next, if any at all. But let's be clear, it's not about revenge. It's about restoring balance. You're not being cruel, you're being conscious. Conscious of your time, your energy, your boundaries. You've evolved past the point of overgiving. You've realized that you don't need to respond immediately to matter. In fact, the opposite is true. The less you respond, the more they crave a response. That's human psychology. That's power without words. So now it's your move. From this moment forward, I want you to break the addiction to instant replies. Let them wait, let them wonder, let them work for your energy. And when you do respond, let it be with clarity, not desperation. Here's your affirmation for today. Drop it in the comments. I am not on demand. Say it, believe it, show it. You are no longer available on their schedule. You move on your time. And when they finally get that reply, it's not because they earned it. It's because you chose it. Now stay close, because what's coming next is even darker. We're going to take the doubt that's already forming in their minds and intensify it. You'll learn how to plant the kind of thoughts they can't stop replaying. Let's turn the silence up another level. Number 6, intensify doubt. A little uncertainty in their minds is all it takes to make them rewrite your story 1,000 times. Now we're getting surgical with it, my friends. You've gone silent, you've gone cold, but now it's time to turn that silence into a storm. Because silence alone is haunting, but silence mixed with doubt, that's psychological warfare. You're not just gone anymore, you're mysteriously gone. And that mystery, That is what drives people insane. See, when someone starts doubting their place in your life, they begin to panic. Not in a loud, dramatic way, but in a quiet, internal way. They start trying to fill in the blanks. They begin to wonder, are they talking to someone else? Did they replace me? Was I just a placeholder? And when you don't answer those questions, when you just keep showing up calm, quiet, unbothered, that doubt multiplies. It grows in the silence, and their minds become the very trap they set for you. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine they see your name pop up online, but you're not replying to them. You post a story, but they're not in it. You're glowing, looking good, moving differently, and they can feel the shift, but they can't confirm anything. That's the key. You don't give them proof. You don't give them answers. You give them just enough silence to keep them guessing, just enough presence to make them wonder if they're still relevant in your life. That's how you intensify doubt. You drop small breadcrumbs, not lies, just subtle cues. You mention that you've been busy lately. You casually say things have been different in a good way. You don't explain, you don't overshare, you don't name names. And suddenly they're spiraling. They wonder who you're talking about. They wonder what changed. They wonder if they're no longer the main character in your story. And trust me, that realization stings more than anything you could ever say. You know why this works so well? Because they never thought they'd be replaceable. They were sure they had you locked in, that you'd always be around. But now you've become unpredictable. And unpredictable people are addictive because you can't control what you can't read. You can't manipulate what you can't access. But let's address the voice in your head that might say, is this mean? Is this too much? No, this is balance. This is reversal. Because you didn't create the doubt. They did. Every time they left you hanging, every time they went cold, every time they made you question your worth. Now you're handing them their own medicine, served on a silver platter of silence. And here's the thing, they won't admit they feel it. They won't tell you they're affected. But the signs will show. They'll reach out more. They'll drop half-hearted check-ins. Hey, how have you been? Just thinking about you. Yeah, now they're thinking because their minds won't shut up. Because you're still there, living in their heads, wrapped in questions with no answers. Marcus Aurelius said, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. And right now, guess what color just got upgraded in quality? You. You've become a premium thought, one they don't want to lose, one they keep revisiting, one that lives in every what if and maybe someday. This is not a game for the desperate, it's a game for the disciplined, because you're not chasing, you're not even pushing for connection. You're just placing seeds in their minds and walking away, and later, sometimes much later, they'll realize those seeds grew into feelings they can't ignore. You've become a future memory, a someday fantasy, a plan they didn't know they made. And now they're haunted by the possibility of your return or the emptiness of your permanent silence. So here's your next power move. Be intentional with your words. Keep it light, casual, strategic. A sentence here, a reference there, and then vanish. Let them fill in the blanks. Let them build the fantasy. And you stay grounded, focused, and unavailable until they prove they're worthy of living in that future. To wrap this up, remember, silence isn't weakness, it's strategy. Each move you've learned today is designed to shift the power back to you. Use them wisely, and they won't stop thinking about you. If this spoke to your soul, like the video, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs this energy.